what we could do here today.
Yeah, and we're going to do Sector Spotlight again, which is going to be tech, to see the health of the three major leaders there, and then, of course, cloud computing, which we had talked about on Wednesday. So let's start off with Netflix closed lower Wednesday. What was that sell signal for you?
We talk about the red dog reversal. Everyone laughs, but you know what? This is a very potent strategy to use. We had a big breakout in Netflix above 250, 255. People trailing it finally got out yesterday based on the short-term pattern. Sometimes this pattern doesn't lead to a huge down move, but if you sell on it, it always keeps you out of harm's way. So if you look at Netflix right now, I'll show you that pattern. Okay, here was your entry, the breakout above this level. Yesterday, we had a push-through failure. Traded above the previous high, closed below it. That's an outside day. That's your sell signal. For those looking to buy Netflix, I wouldn't even consider it until it gets down to this potential 258. But even there, that might be tough. It might even test this prior breakout. So there are two levels to watch there, but if you were long Netflix, yesterday was your sell signal.
If you didn't sell, do you have to wait because we're up about 0.5% in Netflix already? So, or can you take advantage of a little tiny pop if we get it?
If you missed yesterday selling some, I would sell some. And some traders will probably try and short through yesterday's low, including me if you see a negative divergence with the futures. But be careful. Netflix is one crazy stock. You better have a tough gut if you're going to try and short that there.
All right, let's go to Apple. Closed at 345.51. What level does it have to hold?
Apple follows same set of rules. Great two-day trade, 10 points from that lower pivot. It failed at that macro downtrend. That's why it's such an important area, that 349 to 351 that's been controlling that stock since the highs put in. It's still there. It's going to help us down the road. So what I want to see for Apple is, yesterday, a lot of fast money traders who got in here or added there saw the breakout and then sold when it came back below this trend line. That's what you do. If you're playing for momentum, you stay if it holds. If it breaks out and closes below, you get out and answer questions later. I'd like to see Apple hold 341 to 343, go a bit sideways. Then if the market finds some footing, maybe it tries again. So I think the upward momentum in Apple could stay here, but I want to see it hold higher and show really good relative strength for a potential move to the upside.
And then really fast, we got a hit on Amazon, down more than 2% on Wednesday, but still only $5 from its 52-week high. Is the same strategy for Amazon?
Amazon, I might look for a cute short here. Okay, Amazon put a top in, and then it's been putting in a series of lower highs. It's at crucial support. If I see a divergence here, I think 191, 192 might be a good area to short it. So I'm looking right here. This was when we broke this last little ascending channel with potency. Look how potent this bar was. Had a little bit of a bounce back, consolidating lower. If we break it on an hourly basis, close below like 191, 192, I think we could see a little $3 move on the short side down to the 50-day, which stands around 188.
All right, let's go to cloud computing because we did talk about that on Wednesday on how to trade them, and I want to hit on VMware and Acme Packet and Salesforce.com. So VMware broke out to a new 52-week high yesterday and then failed. Not so. That's bad news, right?
That's bearish action. All right. The rules are when you trade stocks for momentum, if you have a momentum pivot to be long against, you can be long as it holds above it. Once it trades below it, you better get out of the way. And BMW gave you actually a lot of time. It showed relative strength. It broke above 99.20, went as high as 102. A lot of guys tear in, tear out, take trades along the way. But I want to show you this chart so you see the rule. So if you were trading VMware for a breakout, okay, the only way you stay in it is if it holds above that breakout price. It broke above, and this is real. It went to 102. If you tried to trail some, once it went back below this pivot price, that's where you get out because that means it lost its momentum. It's not a healthy breakout. They use that breakout to distribute stock. You have to watch that type of action. That's why we said if it has a successful breakout, maybe there's power in tech. If it's not a successful breakout, we know it could be a fake out.
But, you know, with Acme Packet, though, I know it ended down almost 5%, but it held up until almost 1 o'clock. Look at the daily chart. I mean, isn't that something for the stock?
Well, a lot of them held up, and that's why I gave you a lot of time.
So this one was like 11 and started to tank down. But, yeah, Acme Packet, about 1 o'clock it started to turn.
Well, that's when you have to start really putting the pieces of the puzzle together. And when you saw the weakness in the banks and you saw us give back more than the descending trend line in the S&Ps, you saw us give back 50%, you had to say, listen, I don't think APKT is going to be the only one to hold up. APKT did the exact same thing. It broke above its downtrend that we talked about as a pivot. But once it trades below that level, you get out of the way. So it broke above this 76, gave you a trade once it came back below 76. You sold it here. You saved yourself 4 points. and now it's coming into some support. We'll see how it acts around here, but this, again, is a breakout failure at a downtrend. That means the downtrend is still in control until it's not.
And talk about being proven in a downtrend, you have to look at Salesforce.com, right? I mean, it had a terrible day yesterday.
Well, that one also gave you a different clue. When VMW was breaking out, APKT was heading above that downtrend, everyone's like, why is Salesforce, down $2? So that gave you a clue that maybe actually the other ones aren't going to follow through. So when the market came in and those came down, this one was the first to go because it was showing relative weakness. So I'll be I'll be watching this very close. For any of you Salesforce.com bulls, you better make sure it holds this 142.50. Otherwise, it could fill this gap down to like 137. But I would say if you were long here, looking for momentum, once it broke this upper area, you had to sell some.
All right. Dismal clues from the tech sector right now. We'll be back right after this to tell you how to make more money today.